More goblins from the Abbey of Proliferation. Brace yourselves, dwarves, for this day will be one of glory. Or rather, well, we're supposed to have faith, right? But that is an awful lot of goblins. Way more than that last siege, that's for sure. You know what, I think we're just gonna close up the gate real quick. There we go, just like that, perfectly safe. We're good. I think we gotta put some thought into this one, my dwarves. The gods do watch over us, but we shouldn't be getting too reckless now, I don't think. Though that being said, these infidels out here must be taught a lesson. It's just a shame we don't currently have a plan. Well, we'll have to start working on something. Can't let them escape. Anyways, hello you bearded bastards, and welcome back once again to Mafalakil, Chamberpoint, where currently it is the 12th of Granite, 1215, early spring of our 10th year here. That's right, I looked it up, made sure. Our 10th year, that's actually really impressive. Certainly after those first rocky years, I never thought we'd be doing so well. But here we are, locked up oh so safely behind our nice, secure walls. Nothing can get to us, and for the most part the dwarves are extremely happy. Real good to see. There are still some gripes out there, but that's bound to happen. Can't please everyone. Unless we have another ceremony. Time will tell if that comes to pass. Anywho, gonna get straight down to work around here, and I'm also gonna try not to do that much yapping. We'll move quickly along. Down over this way here, you can see our ocean project. Bunch of those screw pumps in place. Just planned up for the time being. We have a ways to go still. Hoping the whole thing works, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a pain in the butt. I'm not sure if it's the waves over here disrupting the workers, but it could well be. A little precarious. Gonna keep tooling away on it though. Back up over this way here at the main gate, you can see we're making a large wooden structure, and this here is intended to be a grizzly bear pen. Remember some of them were fighting just recently? Well, we have to increase the size of their pen, so I figured what the hell, make them a nice big spot over here, and we'll also put a bridge out front too, that we can raise and lower. That way when we're invaded, we can kind of like open it up and maybe crush some goblins, as well as release a whole bunch of grizzly bears. That'd be fun. Over here in our new tanning/butchery workshop, you can see one of the risen stalkers is tanning a hide. The hide of a giant otter. We have a strange mood dwarf who's looking for some leather, hoping this gets put to good use. Yeah, we're gonna start reverting back to wood for a lot of our structures. It's so much more accessible, easy to use, it's right up here on the surface, and there's plenty of it. As we were saying recently, we're not really so worried about appeasing the elves so much anymore. Hopefully it doesn't turn around and bite us in the ass, but we'll see what happens. It's worth the risk. We do still have a whole bunch of little workshop areas like this that we have to construct. This just makes it easier. Down over here in our new temple, you can see things are coming right along. The outer Lorsith temple is pretty much completed right now. You can see in that back area there, we have a bunch of pews set up, as well as a nice microcline altar and some statues. Finally, a proper area to offer our praise. In that middle velvet of vaults area, well, it's a little sparse right now still, and there's no roof above. But if we move up to this level here, you can see it's coming right along. That middle tower structure is beginning to rise out of the main body of the cathedral. It'll take some doing, I'm sure. Having a quick peek up at the surface again. Looks like all the invaders are still in place in their little war camp over here. That sure is annoying. Wish we had that archer tower set up, but alas. That being said, we are trying to be a bit proactive in our defense. Oh, but hold up a second. It looks like we have an artifact here. Looks like kind of a boring one, but Aerith Libashorstist, the jeweler, has created Castar Bomrak, a plum wood amulet. She offers it to the Weight of Suffering. Ah, just wonderful. Normally we wouldn't bother even raising a brow at a wooden artifact, but it kind of symbolizes our new view on the surrounding forest. It's something to be used, made into a thing of beauty. And trees in their natural state are, of course, absolutely useless, and the elves are fools. Anyways, let's have a look. Castar Bomrak, Block Whipped, a plumwood amulet, worth 22,000. Not terrible. This is a plumwood amulet. All craft dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with clay loam. Clay loam? Decorated with plumwood and giant otter leather. There's that leather. And encircled with bands of sand pearwood, water buffalo bone, and point-cut bone opals. This object menaces with spikes of persimmon wood and granite. On the item is an image of Dwindled Shins, the Oaken Star, the dwarf, and Cadal Roadclout, the armored whisker of razors, the dwarf, and alpaca bone. Cadal is striking down Dwindled Shins. Oh, okay. So this right here, I believe, symbolizes something that happened in the ceremony chamber, where things got a bit messy. All those zombies coming back to life, some were fighting amongst themselves, as I had mentioned. You know what? I really like this artifact, actually. It perfectly symbolizes our fortress, when you get down to it. It has that clay loam, which is strange at first, but we're up here on the surface. There's clay loam all over the place. Plenty of wood adorning this thing, just like our forest home here. Bone, leather, otter leather, nonetheless, a creature of the sea, and to finish it off is a depiction of our ceremony. Just wonderful. This deserves a place of high esteem. You know what? How about we put it over here, on display, in our temple? We just made a new gold pedestal, and we'll get it placed atop. There we go, isn't that nice? Glory be to the laws of Lorseth and the endless womb of the Velvet of Vaults. Can't help but notice this Gorlak over here, though. Lor Uthmik seems to be a little upset, unfortunately. Well, that's okay, little Gorlak, don't you worry. Go on over to the Gleeful Fishman, get yourself a drink, and just remember, we can get you nice and turned around with another ceremony if you'd like. You're an asset here. We'd hate to lose you. Just have a look at your good friend Sausage. Doing absolutely fine these days. You remember how unhappy she was. No longer. Hang in there, my friend. The gods are watching over us. Now then, having a look out here in the woodland, and, well, it looks like those goblins are nice and settled in. Not too surprising, I suppose. I have a feeling they're going to be sticking around for a while, too. But that's fine, because as I had said before, we're being a bit proactive with our defense. Now, if we have a look down underground, right below their feet, you can see we've planned up a ramp. And if we follow that ramp downwards, right down here, you can see it leads to a tunnel. Gonna zoom out a bit, just like that right there. Now you can see a dwarf working diligently away at that tunnel from the other end. Got a ways to go still, really. And looking down at the other end and going down farther, you can see this tunnel connects up to our mines. You may be able to see what we're planning here now. Yes, you can see we're going to have that tunnel up there connect up to the caverns. And the idea is going to be that we can maybe open up this gate here and have a forgotten beast come in from the caverns and make its way up to the surface. I don't know if that'll work. It's going to rely heavily upon those forgotten beasts doing what we think they're going to do, but they can be a bit unreliable sometimes, so don't get your hopes too far up. However, I will say that we've been hearing all sorts of noises down in those caverns lately, and we can safely say there's some heavy activity out there. Not too sure what form it takes exactly, but let us get these tunnels carved out and then maybe we'll see. Until then, cross your fingers. Okay, jumping forward a little bit here. And you know what? I think our plans are just about ready to go. Now, this is going to get a little sticky, I think, but should be fine. We just got to get one hell of a brave dwarf to carve out this last little bit of dirt here. Also, I will note while we're here that there is something rather serious going on down in those caverns. Sections of cavern collapsing left and right. Chaos, it tells you. That should work in our favor, actually. Let's get to digging. Now, the trickiest thing is going to be these dwarves here have to go up to the surface, carve out that bit of dirt, and then run back down through that long tunnel back to the fortress before the goblins can get to them. Just hoping they're smart about this whole thing. They're going to have to run like crazy, but it should be fine. I will note, too, that the bridge blocking up the caverns is completely closed up right now, so no forgotten beasts can get in. We'll wait for these guys to carve out that dirt and then get back down to the fortress, close up that gate behind them, and then we'll open up the caverns. Oh, here goes our miner up to the surface, and okay. The way is clear. Skipping ahead, and okay, there we go. The miners are safe now. Wonderful. Now we just gotta get some levers pulled real quick. Okay, there's one. So now the beast pens are closed up nice and safe. Goblins can't get to us. And now we'll just pull a couple of these other levers here. And the gate is open. Let's get this show on the road. forgotten beast Isa Asithithaliri Nanura has come. A towering feathered sauropod. It has a long swinging trunk and it appears to be emaciated. Its eyes glow blue and its charcoal feathers are fluffed out. Beware. It's fire. Oh, here we go. That's a good one. Although it looks to be kind of beat up. I imagine it's been experiencing some titanic battles down in those caverns. Hope it doesn't affect how well it does up there. But that fire does sound promising, doesn't it? I suppose we'll see. It looks like it's headed straight up. And as you can see, it's already up in that tunnel, where the goblins are as well. We're just gonna let this play out here, see how it goes down. The creature is moving in, and there's a volley of arrows and some fire. We have fire, a bunch of smoke. The creature's taking some serious hits, that's for sure. Arrows just slamming into its titanic frame. It has nowhere to go, really. The goblins have begun piling on. I'm seeing a flood of blood pouring out of the beast. Arrows constantly slamming into it. Not as much fire as I'd like, that's for damn sure. Creature is laying on the ground, panicking, and the goblins continue piling on as the creature falls for good. That's it right there. Damn, real shame. Was really hoping for a better performance, that's for damn sure. How disappointing. Well, not much you can do at this point, I suppose. But something to note is that the goblins seemed to want to come down this way when we had that back entrance open. So maybe we can repurpose this tunnel for something else. Maybe load it with traps in the future and kind of try to trick them to come down here when they arrive. Have them get mulched up or something. Making me kind of wish we kept that forgotten beast. Make some sort of a flame trap with it or something, but too late. Nothing we can do about it now. Easy come, easy go. People of Mafala Kill, this is totally okay. We must have faith, for the gods will see us through. Okay, back onto our other projects. And, okay. You know, I was feeling pretty darn positive about this whole ocean draining thing over here. It seems pretty straightforward when you get down to it, but I guess it probably isn't. Who could have ever thought there'd be some hurdles in draining the ocean? I figured it'd be easy, but here we are. As you can see, it really kinda isn't. Yeah. Well, we had that problem before where the screw pumps were dumping water all over the bridges used for access, and so dwarves couldn't even get over here to work. They kept getting pushed off by the water. So I built these walls on the sides so that dwarves could easily walk onto the structure, but it looks like some of the water is coming back onto the area where we're trying to build screw pumps, pushing people off. They can't get anything done. We'll get this figured out, but damn it, I don't know quite what it's gonna take. We can see this guy over here down in the water, just kind of like the water's being kept at bay, being sucked up around him, but there's just like literally a wall of water around him. He can't get back to shore. What do you even do? It's just like a pieces of junk floating around in the water around him. Can we get a ladder for the guy? Something to get him out of there would be nice. Okay, just don't shut off the screw pump or else that guy is definitely screwed. Oh boy, looking down here now, it seems she's taking a bit of a nap. All that life or death struggle really tuckers a dwarf out, that's for sure. It's so stupid. Okay, just hang in there, we'll figure something out. Okay, well, we were trying to build a staircase, that didn't work so well. Now we're gonna try something a bit audacious here. The miner's getting desperate, very thirsty. I don't think this is gonna work very well, but, well, I suppose we'll see soon enough. Well, the miner is trying to dig down now underwater. Will this work though? Is the thing. Yeah, maybe if you hurry your ass up. You know, actually, this does appear to be working. I didn't think this would work at all. Aha, go figure. Yeah, okay, so this dwarf here just dug through the bottom of the sea floor, like right underneath that screw pump where the water is being sucked up from. The water's being sucked up so fast that, well, this dwarf was able to dig straight down through the floor underneath the screw pump. That's super strange. Crazy, actually. And as you can see here now, the dwarf is slowly making their way back over towards safety underground. They're even able to carve out enough stone where they can build a wall behind them to prevent the sea from chasing them into shore. Super impressive, actually. I didn't think this dwarf was gonna make it. Alright, dwarf, I'm gonna tell you what. We've only really just met you, but a feat like that deserves a nickname, I think. Oh, and having a look here, it looks like your chief deity is the Fish of Waves, our deity of lakes and rivers. That's just too perfect, I think. Obviously, Tatlashu Kur watches over you, and so the dwarves of Chamberpoint will call you... Gills. Gets the point across? I like it. Oh, and here's something. Moving straight along here in the fortress, Rimtar, one of our founding dwarves, has entered a strange mood. Wonderful. The guy's a metal crafter, so I'm very interested to see what he comes up with. Hopefully it's good. I don't doubt that it will be. We'll just give him a second, and hopefully he'll find everything he needs. Being locked up inside like we are, it's not like we have access to much else. May the gods smile upon you, my friend. Okay, and there we go. Rimtar has begun his construction. Glorious day. Let's hope it's a good one. I'm sure it will be, though. The Cyclops Serophaniafuni Kano has come. A giant humanoid monster with a single eye set in its forehead. Well now, isn't that something? A Cyclops, our third Cyclops, by the way, moving straight in. Fortunately, we already have our outer wall locked up, so it can't get to us. I am pretty interested to see what happens when it encounters those goblins. Probably nothing remarkable, I wouldn't think. But I suppose we'll soon see. Oh, here we go. A goblin just popped up out of the ground and is fighting with a Cyclops, who looks to have been knocked over and has already taken a couple of bolts. One goblin was pushed into a pond, and a couple others were just straight up killed, and the Cyclops is moving down into the goblin horde, where, that's it. Right there. Done deal. Well, that's what you get, stupid. These goblins down here aren't any weaklings. You know, I am a little surprised, though, at how well it did, quite frankly. I mean, these are trained goblins, and it was able to kill maybe 4 or 5 of them. Better than that stupid dinosaur, that's for sure. Well, goblins. And here we are back down in the fortress. It looks like Rimtar has just finished up his artifact. Wonderful. Rimtar Lytastas, the Green Eye, as he's now part of the squad known as the Green Eyes, has created Unab Gigin, a iron anvil. He offers it to the weight of suffering. Wonderful. Remarkable, really? An anvil. Let's have ourselves a look. I think it's warranted. Unab Gigin, Aquaflu. Worth 38,000. Very respectable. This is a iron anvil. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of alpaca wool. This object is adorned with hanging rings of morion, microcline, and clay loam, once again. Administers with spikes of iron, giant cave spider silk, and hemp. On the item is an image of a pomegranate tree in microcline. A beautiful artifact, that's for damn sure. We're gonna have to put it somewhere special, I think. Maybe we'll make a personalized workshop for Rimtar. I think that'd certainly be in order, don't you? The guy deserves it. He's been here from the start. He's a tough dwarf, that's for sure. Although I can't help but notice the guy's feeling a little stressed these days. Much like that Gorlak there, Lore. She's actually been throwing tantrums too. Hasn't been fighting anyone, but she has toppled a few statues. Not a great sign. She's probably going to start going downhill before long. Rimtar too. But, again, that's absolutely fine. We have to keep that in mind. We can have another ceremony anytime we want. It's not guaranteed that they'll come back as risen stalkers, but, well, at least it'll end their suffering. They'll be in the hands of the gods at that point, so it's really a win-win. Hang in there, buddy. Or don't. Either way, you'll be fine. Okay, time is ticking forward, and having another look outside our walls, we can see a small group of goblins out here in the woodland. Just kind of a scouting party or something. After the goblins discovered this tunnel down here, it looks like they're trying to make camp. More like their home, I would imagine. Well, getting sick of them being out here, and you know what? Just thinking to ourselves, we are supposed to have faith in this fortress, and faith we do have. And so, that being the case, I think it's time to fling our gates wide and allow those intruders to come in. Full faith that the gods will watch over us and protect us through this turmoil. There we go, the gate is now open, and the goblins have begun making their way down tentatively through the woodland. I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. It might well be that we have to run down to the mines, or figure out some other solution. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. But our fate is truly in the hands of the gods. By the laws of Lorseth and the endless womb of the Velvet of Vault, may we strive through this turmoil. Whoa. That's something right there. Huh. Well, okay, so really that was kind of some tongue-in-cheek sort of religious humor, I suppose, because we weren't going to just let them in. We in fact did have a bunch of war bears and horn beetles down here prepared for them once again, of which we have many more than that first siege. But as you just saw, we had one goblin approach, fire off an arrow, run away panicked, and I think the panic of that one goblin set the other goblins off. They all went running. The siege is over right now. Wow, that really is something. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before, frankly. Truly, the gods do watch over Chamberpoint. Must be the case, right? That's fine. Get the hell out of here, you bastards. Here's hoping that next time they show up, we'll have a proper trap ready for them. Gonna get right to that. And there we go. Took a considerable amount of time, but you know what? I think we just may have killed 2 rocks with 1 stone. Right now it's the 12th of Obsidian 1216, late winter, which means that since you last saw, we've taken about another year on this project down here. But I think it's just about good to go when you get down to it. You can see we've had some additional modifications going on. A lot of wood being used, and well, that's because, as I was saying before, when we had it running just for that little bit with 1 screw pump, it was splashing water about all over the place and making one hell of a mess. And so we had to build some more walls and extra ways for the water to escape from this middle area here, just to help make it a bit safer. Don't want any more gills incidents, that's for damn sure. Now then, we are just about to get things rolling here, and once we do, I'll go into more detail, but now let's just see if this works. Fingers crossed, please. This took way too much time for it to fail now. Now, we had problems with this thing before because, well, I'm not sure how you're supposed to hook these things up sometimes, and occasionally the machinery will just kind of blow apart. So it could well be that, well, this entire thing just kind of falls apart as soon as we get the last piece in place, which would really not be great at all. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Alright, now let's see. Got some of our risen stalkers putting pieces in place. Almost there. Okay, and that should just about do it. But, okay, having a look here, looks like we have a strange mood dwarf in this waterway tunnel back here. You want to get the hell out of there, you dope. Just a moment. Just gotta rip down this section of wall over here. Okay, now get the hell out of here, you bastard, huh? There you go. Good luck on your artifact. Anyways, okay. Now all we have to do is pull this lever and someone should be on their way as we speak. Get ready. And have faith, my bastards. Ooh. Would you look at that? Huh. That is very interesting, isn't it? Huh. So yeah, I think this thing actually worked. Very cool. Okay, well, okay, you can see the ring of screw pumps around the outside, and that's all sucking water out from the middle there. And behind each of the screw pumps, I put like a section of flooring, just to kind of put some distance between the screw pump itself and the water that's flowing out of it, just so it didn't end up flowing back onto the screw pump. It's a bit safer that way for the workers, and for anybody else who comes out into this area. Now, I'm going to give it a second here just to see if maybe the water will actually be drained out of this middle area. Still not 100% sure if that's going to happen, but I'd like to think it would, and I'm feeling pretty confident it will. Okay, there we go. Yes, it does appear to be working. This whole area down here is pretty shallow right now. It has a depth of 1 or 2 of 7, and it could even be that over time that'll decrease further. But for now, that's going to be just fine, especially if a whale swims into this area. We could just flip that switch right there, and bingo. Of course, we just need a way to go down and collect the whale safely. That being said, actually, looking up this way, this whole section of water next to the shore is just as shallow as the area inside that square. So this effectively just creates a path from the shore out to the bottom of that square. So people can just walk out and collect the whale if they wanted to. Very interesting. A tremendous scientific breakthrough right here, dwarves. Now, anyways, something I have not yet addressed is this up here, this waterway that I mentioned earlier. Now then, you can see the northern section of this square, the water being funneled away through this waterway, which leads down here. Now we're going to zoom out a bit, and you can see that that tunnel actually goes up quite a long ways here. And this is all going to be part of a trap that we can use in the future. Now, if we have a look up here at the northern end of this tunnel, you can see a couple of things. Now, when that water gets down here, it's going to hit this channel/staircase right here. And when it does, the water is going to be going downwards to this level here, where it's going to drain out safely into the caverns. However, looking back up here to this tunnel, in a goblin-related pinch, we can lower this bridge right here, and just like that. And now that that downward passage is covered up, that water will flow northward into this fortification surrounded slope. And if we look up from there, right here, you can see this here is that tunnel that those goblins entered from before. And if we look down, this is that tunnel where they were hanging out that whole time. And so the hope is they can go down through that tunnel, try to get into our fortress that way, and when they do, we can release the ocean in behind them. How does that sound? I think that'd work out pretty well, actually. Of course, time will tell on that whole thing, but I can't imagine it going too ass ways. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. And having a quick look up here to the surface, we can see our draining project is going very well. And in fact, all that water has been drained out, just as we thought. Truly the gods smile upon Chamberpoint. We'll have to think of a way to thank them. Ooh, possibly by building a structure out here. A very good idea. Gonna put some thought into it. Oh, and you know what? I suppose another way we can show thanks to our gods is by having yet another ceremony, something we might have to do before too much longer. As we can see over here, Lord the Gorlak is still doing very poorly. Quite a shame really, but she has been throwing more tantrums lately. Not something we can have. Congratulations, Lore! Oh, and you too, Rimtar. Two very lucky individuals. But we'll have to hold off just a little bit longer. Gotta make sure our goblin-related preparations are completely all set. Better safe than sorry. Chamberpoint. A sight to behold. Things are going so well around here since we changed our focus a bit. To live a life in service of our gods is truly the highest ideal. That beardless baron can do as he chooses with Oradashi. For here in Chamberpoint, home of the pious, we know there is much more to life than conflict. Well, hello you bearded bastards, and welcome to the end of the episode where we're going to be once again talking about some behind the scenes things. Now then, this fortress got weird. Super weird. But I kind of love that. And, you know, additionally, I really love how, well, it wasn't entirely my fault that it got so weird, I don't think. Like, Dwarf Fortress serves up these events to you and you have to deal with them in some way. And so it's kind of like teamwork or something, you know? Like you work alongside the game, unlike a tabletop role-playing game where the dungeon master is on one side telling players what happens. In Dwarf Fortress, the game master is kind of like a robot. And so they're kind of serving up events to you, but you kind of have to work with them in order to get like that flavor of the world, I guess. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling. But yeah, that's what I love about Dwarf Fortress. I don't think it's all about just being served up interesting events. I think it's also about trying to work alongside the game in order to flavor the world. That's my own personal take anyways. Additional note, say that draining thing that we've got going on, kills my computer badly. Like really badly. It's kind of remarkable, actually, how much everything slows down when that thing's kicked on. Thinking we might have to shut it off from time to time just so, you know, my computer doesn't like melt or something. Wouldn't be stellar, I don't think. That being said, boy am I glad it worked. I really didn't think it would work. Rather, I should say I did think it would work, which usually almost guarantees it wouldn't work. A nice surprise, I'd say. Really hoping those goblins show up again, but I guess we'll see what happens. Watch, they won't show up again. That'll be it. No more goblins. I swear, if we don't have any more goblins, I'm gonna be pissed. But yeah, rambling. Alright, we'll start wrapping it up. My bearded bastards, I really do hope you had some fun today. I thank you for joining me, and I certainly hope to see you next time here in my fall kill, Chamberpoint. And until then, you bearded bastards.